Shin-Soo Choo's bat has exploded this week. Since taking over in the leadoff spot, Choo has been a menace to opposing pitchers, blasting one out of the park in each of the last 3 games. Tonight, he's right back at the top of the lineup for the Texas Rangers. Well, it qualifies as cold weather for a lot of people in the area. Certainly me included. A chilly one at Globe Life Park. It's been almost a decade since we've seen temperatures like these, and it is a perfect night for a nice warm coat like our furry friends who are with us for Game 2, the Blue Jays and the Rangers. Hello again, everybody. I am Dave Raymond, and the guy jealous of my sweater over here, CJ Nitkowski. Great to have you with us tonight. It is the middle game of this series. The Rangers did not win last night's game, but the offense started to heat up toward the end and showing some signs lately of what was a very good offense last year. It was a good offense last year, and it's good to see the Rangers swinging some very good bats as of late. But let's remind you what happened in 2017 and this offense and where they ranked in the American League. 4.9 runs per game. That was 5th best among American League clubs. And, of course, the home runs, you see Joey Gallo and the 237 that this club hit a year ago. There was also 113 stolen bases. Well, lately, we have seen signs of that offense from a year ago. 11 runs over their last 2 games, 23 hits, and 7 of those have gone for extra bases. Choo especially has been swinging the power bat as of late. So some good news here for the Ranger offense early on in 2018. All right, now a shakeup in the lineup today, a really different looking lineup today for the Rangers for some reasons we'll get into later on in the broadcast. The guy who's hoping to get a little run support from him, Mike Minor, making his 2nd start as a Ranger. What do you like from start number 1? Well, I thought he threw very well in his first start with the Texas Rangers and really his first big league start in a couple of years. Now, what we're going to show you with Mike Minor and what we're going to see again tonight is the use of his slider and especially the way that he used it as a backdoor slider. So for him as a left-handed pitcher, that meant he was throwing it away to those right-handed hitters, starting it off the plate, and then that ball would come back and catch the outer half or the outside corner away to right. You saw Alex Bregman popping one up there. Marwin Gonzalez can't pick up on the pitch as it is perfectly located on the corner. And then Carlos Correa swinging right through it. You're talking about some really good hitters that had struggled against that backdoor slider from Mike Minor. So expect that to happen again. What that does for him when he shows that he can throw that pitch consistently, it makes his fastball inside that much more effective. And a fastball inside on a night like tonight should be advantage pitcher. We'll find out. And another pitcher on this Ranger staff, who knows, maybe he'll have an advantage tonight as well. Interesting offseason for Matt Bush. He's found a role in somewhat of long relief. In the spotlight next. Texas Ford dealer during Truck Month. It's buy now time. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
No doubt the warmest creatures in the ballpark tonight, those of the four-legged variety. It is a chilly night for baseball here at Globe Life Park in Arlington, but the game must go on, and it will as we get set to play Game 2 of a 3-game series against these Toronto Blue Jays. And it would be interesting to see how Matt Bush is used throughout the rest of this series and throughout the rest of the season for that matter. It has been an interesting brief career for Matt Bush when you look at where he's come from and where he is going. It's been quite a ride when you look at the fact that he has been in pretty much every role. He's been a setup man, he's been a closer, looked at him in spring training as possibly a starter. Last night he pitched a season-high 2 innings after a rough start to the season, has really settled into that role quite nicely. And talking to Matt, he says it is a bit of an adjustment going back out there for that second inning. You've got to keep your mind mentally sharp that you've got to go back out and get 3 more outs. He says, however, he is willing to do whatever it takes to help this team win, regardless of what innings he pitches in. He feels like he's in a great spot and wants to continue to stay at this level and continue pitching well for this team wherever it is, guys.
Yeah, and smart approach for Matt Bush, absolutely. And I think what you're seeing and what we saw last night, I think maybe the greatest value Matt Bush can have this year, the way that it's looking, is multiple innings. And if I'm Matt Bush, I'm embracing that role, trying to get as many innings as I possibly could. He certainly wanted to start. It didn't work out. I think the next best thing for him is to really rack up those innings in big spots the way he did last night.
Well, and he's proven to be really good in those roles, so we'll talk about that a little more as we carry on tonight. Meanwhile, Mike Minor has taken the club out onto the field, and we'll get that mound to his liking. Gives us a moment to take a look at the starting lineup tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays, 5-3 overall. Steve Pearce back in the leadoff spot again at left field. Josh Donaldson DHing. Then it's Smoke and Yangervis Solarte at third base. Russell Martin, Kevin Pillar, Aledmus Diaz, the shortstop, back in the lineup. Then Grichuk and Devin Travis.
And they'll be going up against Mike Minor, making his second start as a Texas Ranger. And here is the pitch arsenal. And this is from last year, 47% fastballs for Mike Minor. He's got the slider that he uses a lot. We talked about that in our open. The changeup and the curveball are those next secondary offerings. The fastball is what we'll keep an eye on. As a reliever last year, he saw a big spike in velocity, averaging around 95 miles an hour. We expect that to come down a little bit. When he was a starter a few years ago, he was around 92, but he was really seeing some high numbers last year, and we will see how that holds throughout the game as a starter. Let's take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by New Braunfels. Ryan Rua, Drew Robinson, and Nomar Mazara in that outfield this evening. Jerickson Profar is at third, giving Adrian Beltre a day off. Elvis Andrews at short, Ruben Odor at second. Joey Gallo is at first. Juan Centeno behind the plate, and it is indeed chilly. We will not be breaking any records this evening for coldest first pitches, but third, not terrible. We're on the podium. Take home the bronze.
Yeah, we medaled.
Well, that's really, when it's all said and done, you just want to be on the podium.
And those guys,
miserable.
Yeah, I don't think the bronze medal is going to carry any meaning for them. Yikes. Well, here we go. And the first pitch to Steve Pearce, a little bit high for ball 1. Pearce led off the game yesterday, leads off again today. He was 1 for 4 last night with a walk, so did a decent job of setting things up for their offense. And the count 1-1. Pearce does a good job against left-handed pitching as well. One of the reasons that John Gibbons wanted to move him to the top spot, not just for this game, but really in the series, they're going to see a lot of left-handed pitching. They're, of course, most teams are going to see a lot of left-handed pitching from the Rangers this year. 5.6 degrees Celsius here at game time tonight. I know you are not a lover of the decibels.
I'm not.
But that's how we do it in the metric system, my friend.
Well, that's fine. You said, what did you say? You said it was 5 degrees Celsius?
5.6.
Oh, you said 5.6. Yeah. Take that somewhere else.
It's a strike and it's a full count on Pearce.
That's a well-located fastball, and we were kind of joking about it a little bit in the open, but the reality is when it is this cold, I always felt that it was advantage pitcher because if you get a guy jammed inside or get one off the end of the bat, you can ruin his day. And Mike Minor trying to go back in on Steve Pearce, but unfortunately loses him to a walk.
So lead man on tonight. And it brings up Josh Donaldson, who's greeted with a chorus of boos. Donaldson, one of the few real visible faces on this Blue Jays team from those 2015, 2016 Toronto clubs that the Rangers squared off against in the division series in both years. The DH tonight, and he takes a strike.
Now you might be looking out at Mike Minor and thinking to yourself, oh, is he from Minnesota, North Dakota? What's the deal with the no sleeves? No, he's from Tennessee. He shouldn't be that comfortable in this cold weather, should he? It's amazing.
Bouncer foul, count 0-2. But, you know, obviously they're pitchers. You guys are a funny lot, especially lefties. There are guys, I guess, who just, they don't want to wear sleeves, right? Did you like them? Were you uncomfortable with them?
I generally stayed away from them. I will tell you, this weather, I probably would have worn them. This is, you know, near sleeve weather. But yeah, some guys, if they're not comfortable throwing with sleeves or even finding that right set of sleeves, as crazy as it sounds, but there's some guys that just can't find the right pair. Some guys hate the thicker ones, the thin ones, whatever it may be.
Strike three called. Donaldson down looking. One away. It looked like he had a few extra comments for our plate umpire tonight, Mark Wegner.
Well, this looked like a perfectly located fastball for Mike Minor. We'll get another look at it. Josh Donaldson wasn't liking it, but you see Juan Centeno, where he was set up, he even came back over the plate a little bit. Now, he was set up for a ball in that spot. It looked like it came back and caught the corner. Fox Tracks had it really close, and at 94 miles an hour, some good velocity as well.
Tried for a similar spot there, but missed to Justin Smoke. Smoke off to a fantastic start for the Blue Jays. Leading the league right now in RBIs with 10.
And listen, that was a great pitch that Mike Minor threw there. I think for Josh Donaldson, probably not believing that that was a pitch that it would have gotten called in an 0-2 count. That's part of it. And then also, if he believes that's a ball, go ahead and you put that in the home plate umpire's ear a little bit, Mark Wegner, for next time around. Make him think about it. Try to get him to doubt himself on that call. That's the game the hitters play.
2-1. Good fastball there at 92 miles per hour. Minor not interested in dallying out there. Has the ball ready to go. Waiting for Smoke to get ready. Middle infield double play depth, and the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Strike two.
That's a nice changeup from Mike Minor. We've seen good velocity, but good change of speeds. And of course, just like last night, all right-handed hitters in this lineup, and so that changeup becomes very important. As you see, Justin Smoke way out in front of that pitch.
Now the 2-2. Just a bit inside and a little low. 95 miles per hour, though. There's that good velocity we were talking about at the top. Minor getting a full 5 days of rest between starts, and he's going to stay on that kind of a schedule at least for the first month, 6 weeks of the season. 3-2, and that is up and away. So the second walk of the inning. It's given the Blue Jays a couple of free base runners, and now has to deal with the cleanup man. Yangervis Solarte. See the production last night, 1 for 2 with a home run. Solarte with 2 home runs in the early going this year. And pops this one fouling out of play.
Mike Minor, average ground ball rate for him a year ago, right at 43%, just about 1% lower than what you're going to see from your average big league pitcher. But he did get 7 ground ball double plays. And remember, of course, that was a season in which he was exclusively used out of the bullpen.
Ground ball, third base. Backing up for Profar for 1 to second on the first double play. And there it is around the horn. The 2 walks, nothing doing for the Blue Jays.
Right on cue. Good pitch here by Mike Minor to get to Solarte to roll over. And some cold middle infielders doing a nice job of getting that play turned.
The Rangers, Chu back up top again as the DH. Rougned Odor moves into the 2-hole. So that's the first time this year. Andrews still batting third at short. Mazzara in right field cleanup, and Gallo drops to 5th in the order. Then it's Profar, Juan Centeno catching, Ryan Rua and Drew Robinson in their 8 and 9 spots respectively.
And that lineup will be going up against Marcus Stroman for the Toronto Blue Jays. This guy has been very good over the last couple of seasons, and we'll take a look at his pitch arsenal. Lots of fastballs, 62% of the time. Most of those are 2-seam fastballs that sit around 94 miles an hour. You'll see a slider and an occasional changeup and curveball, but predominantly fastball slider for Marcus Stroman. The slider last year, just a 190 batting average against. However, he did allow 6 home runs on that pitch.
So Chu ready to go, and Stroman's first pitch. Fastball called for a strike. Oh,
come on. What do you mean? I'd take that jacket and those hand warmers right now. Now, the other part of that, though, I got to go Nick Cap if I'm Pudge. Right? All that heat is escaping out of his head.
Well, that's true. Pudge, let's face it, Pudge can do whatever he wants.
It's true.
1-1 on the way.
Now that Husky, that's nothing for this Husky, right? This weather, it's like it's middle of summer.
A little warm.
Jealous.
Fastball upstairs, 3-1 to Chu. Chu is working with a 371 on base average so far. 3 homers though, 5 RBIs, so he's hit the long ball as well. Bounces this one on the ground to first. And the exchange to Stroman in plenty of time to take care of Chu on away.
And second, the second baseman, number 12, Rougned Odor.
Pretty sure that is Rougned Odor underneath that mask. You see what he's done for over his last 3 games, last 15 plate appearances, 5 for 12, no strikeouts. And some of the things that we've talked about with Rougned Odor, that pitch selection, 1 pitch in 1 spot. He's certainly starting to see some positive results from his approach in 2018.
Way in on Odor. or whomever that may be.
Now here's the other thing. One of my favorite things about watching Rougned Odor play baseball every day, especially when he takes at bats, he looks out at the pitcher once in a while. You know, it's kind of part of his game. It's, you know, I think something that works for him, gets him locked in. Doesn't have quite the same effect when you can't see his face. You know what I mean? Like,
might have a greater effect. That's menacing right there.
But you can't tell if he's smiling underneath. You never know. Probably not.
2-0 the count.
Right.
Look at that.
But he does that all the time. I do like that part of his game. Listen, that has some effect. I don't know if it does necessarily on Marcus Stroman, but I think it's just, you know, for Rougned Odor, who's an intense player, it's one of those things that just kind of keeps him locked in and focused and looking out at that pitcher as if he's an enemy.
Fouls that one off. 2-1 the count.
I will tell you that when you're young, and obviously Marcus Stroman has been around for a while and has done some good things. He's still young, but when you're a young player with limited experience at the big league level, that can be a little bit intimidating at times. I will tell you that first time Albert Bell looks out at you a little sideways, or Carlos Delgado, those were some scary times.
Hard ground ball to shortstop. Diaz makes the play, and there are 2 gone. Just looking at the hat there for Stroman, and you see the SK on his cap. That's for that Saskatchewan. There you go, right there on above the bill. That Saskatchewan junior hockey team, the Humboldt Broncos. And last night, just the tragic news on their bus traveling to a playoff game in Western Canada, involved in an accident, and some 15 fatalities reported for that one. 14 more injured when their bus collided with a truck. Just an awful, awful story from up in Canada, and it was the talk of the clubhouse today on the Toronto side, and a lot of heavy hearts and thoughts with all of those back in Canada and Saskatchewan. And obviously Marcus Stroman wanted to pay some little tribute as much as he could, competing out there tonight.
It's certainly a really nice thought, and you think about, you know, what everyone is going through right now that is involved in this and surrounding that team, and to know that you got support, some public support, that people are thinking about you, not just throughout Canada but also here in the States. A really nice gesture by Marcus Stroman.
John Gibbons was asked about it today, the Blue Jays manager, and commenting, you know, I have no idea what those families would be going through right now. It's impossible to put yourself in their place, and obviously a great tragedy up in Saskatchewan, and Gibbons was confident that the Blue Jays would at some point do something this season. This next pitch in there for a strike, and it's a full count on Elvis Andrus. Stroman, though, so far pretty sharp. Couple of ground ball outs. The payoff to Andrus, and that one lined over second, and that is a base hit. And Elvis is on. He is hit in all 6 Rangers home games this season, and his home average climbing closer and closer to 600.
We saw this last night as well with Elvis Andrus, and it's that opposite field approach. As you see, a breaking ball that was supposed to be away, sat a little bit more in the middle of the plate. Instead of trying to pull that ball, he takes it where Marcus Stroman pitched it and lines it into right field.
So Elvis on now for Nomar Mazara. Boy, a little extra room on that strike zone. Strike one there to Mazara. Good numbers so far for Nomar through the first 9 games. A .323 average. Chopper up the middle. And Diaz will go to the bag himself, retire Andrus and the Rangers in the first. So 1 inning in the books, no score.
This inning is the big green X spoke about inning. Rangers 50 strikes out the first 3 batters. Rangers fan wins to
because your stadium should be where you make it. Tell you what, on a night like tonight, this was the perfect dog day promotion.
Yep.
This is the night you want you want the dog on your lap.
Built-in blanket, right? I mean, you already come with the jacket and everything else you want, but bring that big furry dog. And it's a good night if you have the big hairy dog, right? Certainly if you have the big hairy dog, there's some downsides here in the house. A little conversation going on right now in the Nikowski house. My wife is trying to push for a second dog and wants one with a lot of hair. We're a little back and forth on what we're going to do with that. But tonight, yes, that would be fantastic to have. And I think for those dogs, we've seen this a lot. You see it all around the league. It's a really good promotion that teams do. When it's super hot and those dogs just seem like they're panting the whole time, this is probably a better feel for them. If they had a vote, they would pick a night like tonight.
Minor nibbling away at that outside corner. Comes up empty there. 2-1 the count. Fouled away, and it's a 2-2 count on Russell Martin, the veteran catcher. Was 3 for 4 last night. The home run drove in 3. So today batting 5th. Minor worked around a couple of walks in the first inning, and he strikes out Martin to start the second.
Good pitch here by Mike Minor. He was trying to throw that backdoor slider that we had talked about in our open, as you see where Juan Centeno was set up, but that ball just kept sweeping and cutting and ended up finishing down and in, but finished in a good spot. It's funny, a lot of times you think about missing, and with that pitch, it can be dangerous. If you miss a little, it finishes out over the middle of the plate. Well, he actually missed a lot on that, but that was a positive and a good miss by Mike Minor.
Kevin Pillar now. He takes the 1-0 pitch and lifts it high in the air out to center field. Drew Robinson is there, 2 away. And now a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
We're so confident in our new car pricing that if I can't beat a new car Kia deal in Texas, I'm just going to give it to you.
All right, 2 quick outs here in the second. Minor looking a little sharper in inning number 2 even than he was in inning 1. Ledmus Diaz now takes low for a ball. Diaz had the day off yesterday. Good start to the season for him offensively. And ahead here 2-0. The former St. Louis Cardinal. Two and one. And Diaz solves a bit of an issue for the Blue Jays at shortstop. We touched on it yesterday, but the Troy Tulowitzki situation continues to be just kind of an ongoing issue for them. 2-2. So
it really
can't get healthy.
It's amazing with him. And listen, it's just bad luck. I don't think you can ever really put it on a player, especially one that has been as great as Troy Tulowitzki has been over the course of his career. He's just one of those guys where injuries just seem to always pop up. He just had surgery on April 2nd to remove some bone spurs on both of his heels.
Diaz pops this one up into short right field. Playable for Mazzara, and the inning is done, and it's a 1-2-3 from Mike Minor. When we come back, Joey Gallo will start things off for the Rangers.
It's available in the Hyundai Club for the Rangers and Blue Jays tomorrow. Enjoy the game in climate-controlled comfort with a unique view of the field. Purchase your tickets. Go to TexasRangers.com/Hyundai Club. I say climate-controlled because it's not necessarily strictly air conditioning. You could flip the heater on.
Yeah, and you probably want to get that taken care of. If you like a heated room for a baseball game, you got another, I don't know, 24 hours here in the DFW area where you're going to need your heat. Don't let today fool you. I saw highs of 86 at the end of next week.
Yeah.
Which is unbelievable. I was up early today, had some radio, walked outside. 37 feels like 27. And then you're going to tell me it's going to be 86. We're looking at a 50-degree jump in a week. Is that healthy? Is that all right?
It's all good. It's all good. 3-0 pitch to Joey Gallo, and that one misses, ball 4. And how about that? Gallo had just one walk coming into this one tonight. One walk in 39 plate appearances and walked on 4 pitches to start the second.
It looked like Marcus Stroman almost wanted no piece of Joey Gallo. And for Stroman with a really good two-seam fastball, you'd think it would be a decent matchup. He's just having a hard time finding the outside part of the plate. You see all 4 of those misses. So the Rangers are in business here in the second inning against Stroman.
Jurickson Profar now. Switch hitter batting left-handed, and he takes outside for a ball.
Part of being in the position that Jurickson Profar is in, which is going to be limited playing time, giving some guys some days off here and there. Give Rougned Odor a day off. He's giving Adrian Beltre a day off tonight. But, you know, trying to find that rhythm. And sometimes the downside is the pitching matchups that you get when you haven't played consistently. We used to always joke around that people would get that Randy Johnson-itis, get a day off, and a bench guy would get that start. Well, for Jurickson, as a switch hitter, this is not that easy of an at-bat. When Marcus Stroman is on, I just mentioned a good two-seam fastball. Now he's just missed with 6 in a row, but he was actually very good against lefties, better against lefties a year ago than he was righties.
2-0 pitch. And it's a little bit outside, so 7 misses to start the inning for Stroman. All right, we've talked a lot about swinging 3-0 in this age of baseball. Guys missed on 7 straight to open it. You can't, can you?
No way. I wouldn't. I mean, if a guy that's locked, Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrus, I'd allow those guys to swing if they felt they saw something that they liked. But I think for guys that are not playing regularly, or you're not swinging the bat well, or you don't have the history, no.
All right, now that one was very close. I mean, even Profar paused long enough for that one to be called a strike, but I guess you just don't earn that call.
Now let's take a look at this pitch, and I'll tell you what, for a 3-0 pitch, and that's the other thing, as you even saw a little bit of a pause there from Russell Martin, kind of surprised that it wasn't called a strike. An umpire will never admit this, but the reality is, you've seen enough baseball, you've seen this. 3-0, they seem to be a little bit more liberal with the strike zone. It's got to be kind of close, and you're going to get that call. And it's interesting because early on, Mark Wegner looked like he was showing us a little bit of a wide zone. So it could be, and you got to pay attention to this as a pitcher and a hitter and a catcher. The zone might be a little bit east to west this evening, but not necessarily north to south.
So Stroman still looking to throw a strike in this second inning. He has spotted the Rangers, Gallo at second and Profar at first. Juan Centeno now. And he's showing bunt. Drags it first base side. That one just crosses the line. And Stroman can walk back to the mound and make another pitch now, but that was perilously close to really ruining his night.
It could have, and you always have to be careful here with these bunts because you're assuming it's going foul, but just in case it isn't, you have to make that last minute decision. But as soon as he saw that spin and realized it was going to go in foul territory, he does the right thing, and you're taught just to touch it, slap it away, whatever it may be. But had that ball stayed there, that would have been a really difficult play. It could have gotten ugly really fast.
So Centeno back up there. Corners are in now.
And the only thing I'll say, that was a little bit more of a drag bunt, and if you're bunting in this situation, you know, do what you got to do to get it down. That's always your first priority. But generally, first and second, nobody out. You want to bunt that ball to the third base side. Make the third baseman field the ball. You're taught a hard bunt here to third is the proper bunt, so that the runner should be able to advance pretty easily.
Showing bunt again, fouls it off. No balls, 2 strikes on Centeno, making his 3rd start this season. His last start was Thursday afternoon in Oakland, and he had a couple of hits in that one.
Swung the bat well.
I thought so, yeah.
Quality of the at-bats I thought have been really good for Juan Centeno in his limited action. As you get a look at Robinson Chirinos and somebody else. Place your bets.
Adrian.
Was it Adrian?
I think so.
I couldn't tell. Oh, the clear glasses gave it away. That's what it should have been.
0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Centeno.
It's a fun game.
It is fun. I like it.
Name that Ranger in full uniform on the bench. I know that guy. I know those 2 guys. They're not that good at this game.
That's a birthday boy, I think, right there. All wrapped up. 39th birthday today for Adrian Beltre. Little tapper, right side, tough spot. Only play will be to get Centeno. Both runners advance. Gallo to third, Profar to second. So that works a little bit like a sacrifice.
100%, and you'll absolutely take it. Again, a good at bat from Juan Centeno. Tried to get the bunt down, couldn't get it down. Certainly Stroman, a difficult guy to bunt against with the great movement, and he gets a changeup, and he does exactly what he wants to do. It's a tough pitch away. He rolls over it, gets it to the right side. Another thing that you're taught. Runner at second and nobody out. First and second, nobody out. Hit that ball to the right side, find a way to get those guys over. Juan Centeno did exactly that. Oh, conversation. That's interesting. Jeff Bannister talking to Juan Centeno. I wonder if there was any missed signs on the bunt or just wanted to reassure him that he noticed the quality of that at bat.
Ryan Rua with a great opportunity here now. And Ryan really looking for something to break his way. Just 2 hits so far here in 2018. He's played in all 8 games. 2 hits and 23 at-bats. And a base hit right here might deliver 2 runs. One and one the count. This has been a better trend lately. Things starting to turn in the right direction for the Rangers. They started 4 for 35 with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, there were some struggles there. Now, some of that, what we saw in Oakland, was some bad luck where they were hitting the ball hard, but just right at guys. Right, that game where they went 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. But as of late, those hard hit balls have been dropping in and resulting in some runs and RBIs.
They play Rua straight away on the infield and in the outfield. Stroman's 1-1. And this one out to right field. Well struck. Grichuk was shallow. Reaches up and he makes the catch on the run. What a play. Gallo tags. He'll score. A sacked fly for Ryan Rua. But Randall Grichuk just got to that ball, robbing Rua of extra bases.
I got to tell you what, I thought that was absolutely an extra base hit off the bat as Ryan Rua struck this ball extremely well. And poor Ryan Rua, you mentioned some of the struggles that he has been having, and he just puts together a tremendous at bat against a really good pitcher in Marcus Stroman. But Randall Grichuk running this ball down does a really nice job. Ryan Rua hit that ball 110 miles an hour. He smoked it, and he gets a sack fly to show for it. And you'll certainly take the RBI and getting the Rangers on the board, but it looked like it was going to be so much more off the bat.
It's now Drew Robinson, and he takes down low. Robinson had a couple of hits last night, and in fact, they're working on a little 5-game hitting streak. The numbers reflecting this good little stretch he's on, a .316 average for the year with a home run. A little low, it's 2-0. So the inning began with 8 straight misses for Marcus Stroman. Gallo and Profar both walked. Gallo just scored on the sac fly by Rua. Stroman only 26 years old. 2-0 pitch. Bounced down to first. And Stroman covering the bag helps put an end to the inning. But the Rangers get the first run of the night on the sac fly by Rua. And we go to the third.
Over the Blue Jays. I want to show you that Ryan Rua line out, sacrifice fly when it's all said and done. Looked like a little bit of a slider there from Marcus Stroman. Really nice swing, and Rua put a charge into it. But watching the runners around the bases, pretty interesting. A little bit of a scramble. I think everybody thought what we thought, which was that this ball was going to get down. Check out profile. Now he's looking over his shoulder just in case. A little bit of panic sets in at that point as he knows that he has to get back, because if he doesn't, double play there would have ended the inning.
Randall Grichuk now trying to do it offensively, lifts this one out to center field, and Robinson hauls it in, one away. That was a pretty big swing by Grichuk. So Minor is now retired 5 in a row, and it began with the double play off the bat of Solarte. So perhaps an indication that he's settling in a little bit, working with a 1-0 lead now and facing the 9th place hitter in Devin Travis. How about, by the way, how about Stroman last inning? Getting through that inning, he threw 6 strikes. Of the 18 pitches he threw, 6 were strikes. Hard to survive doing that. That's not your typical
33%
ratio.
strikeout, not going to get you there. But he survived it. Now, he does have the kind of stuff, I talk about this a lot, where if you can keep the baseball off the barrel even when you fall behind, and we saw him, of course, throw 8 straight balls to start that inning. But he does have the kind of 2-seam fastball where if he gets behind in the count, he should feel pretty comfortable throwing it down the middle, let it run to the corner, and you can get yourself some weak contact. But there wasn't necessarily weak contact that inning.
Devin Travis rolls one to shortstop. Long throw off the backhand in time to get Travis, who has some speed. Nice play by Elvis Andrus, 2 away.
Very nice play, and I think this throw is by design, because we also saw Ruben Odor kind of throw what we would call the long hop to Joey Gallo, and the way the ball feels right now, it's cold. If you're not quite sure if you're going to get enough on the throw to get it there, well, you do Joey Gallo a favor by actually throwing that ball a lot shorter and making that hop nice and easy for him to catch. As you see it pop up nice and high and easy to handle. Anytime you're in doubt as an infielder, you do your first baseman a big favor by giving him the long hop as opposed to trying to make that throw and then maybe throwing it at his feet and giving him a tough pick.
Pierce fouls off the offering from Minor. 1-1 the count. Pierce walked in the first inning. Minor pours that one right in there. Strike 2.
How about this? At the end of the 4th inning in Philadelphia today, Phillies were beating the Marlins 17-1.
Ooh.
It's 18-1 now. After 4.
Oh. Pierce stays alive.
Elvis Andrus has been flashing some leather as of late. We just saw it a play ago. Here he is last night with Alex Claudio on the mound. Kevin Pillar can run a little bit. And Elvis knew he did not have a lot of time, and so it was a quick field spin and throw. Having a big first baseman over there, and Joey Gallo gives you that kind of confidence to be aggressive in that spot as well with your throw. We'll talk about Elvis Andrus a lot, and I think the rest of the league sometimes needs to be reminded about how good this guy is. There's so many good young shortstops now around baseball. But the offensive year that he had last season, career year, continues to get it done defensively, just still 29 years old. It's a little don't forget about me, says Elvis Andrus, and justifiably so.
Minor's 3-2 pitch. Pierce swings and lifts this one high in the air. Again out toward right field. Again Mazzara is the guy in position. And so it's an easy 1-2-3. Top of the third inning for Mike Minor. Looking good so far tonight.
Jays 1-0. And as we mentioned a little bit earlier, it is the birthday of one Adrian Beltre, turning 39 years old today. And as is custom in the Rangers clubhouse, birthday cake goes in the face. So the guys sing happy birthday, give him birthday cake, blows out the candles, and then they proceed to shove his face in the cake, which happened with Adrian today. Also, it came with a couple of presents, one of which was a walker, from what I understand, for the old man Beltre, guys.
That's thoughtful.
Creative. He got some pretty awesome gifts last year, of course. He hit 3,000. But the walker, always in good fun. Clubhouse, no holds barred, that's for sure. But let's not forget, very important birthday without a doubt, Adrian Beltre. There's a second Ranger birthday today, and
pretty important too.
Very important for those behind the scenes that travel with the baseball club, for players' wives, for coaches, and even for us.
Mostly for us.
Mostly for us. Josh Shelton, the director of travel, is that his official title?
I think so, yep.
Yeah. Does a tremendous job here. And it's one of those things that is so important to any team.
Drew rolls one into center field. Base hit to start the third inning. They're not booing.
They're chewing.
Second baseman.
One of the things I learned early in my career, I was told by veterans, you get to the big leagues, take care of your clubhouse manager, take care of your traveling secretary. These are the guys that really can affect your life in such a positive way. And Chu, as we talked about in our open, has been just swinging a really hot bat as of late as he drills that ball right back up the middle past a diving Devin Travis.
So another base runner on, and Odor swings and hits this ball hard out to right field, but Grichuk is right there. One gone here in the third inning. Brings up Elvis Andrus. Yeah, so happy birthday to Adrian Beltre. Happy birthday to Josh Shelton, our director of travel. Also, Josh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for everything so far, and thank you in advance for all the additional favors we are always asking.
I mean, essentially, you're a parent to about 40 people,
yes,
at least, if not more.
Andrus got a base hit in the first inning, and he takes one right down the middle for a strike. So Elvis is now 11 for 19 here at home this year, with 2 doubles and a homer. 1-1 the count.
This has been amazing to watch with Elvis Andrus. We have talked about how well he has been swinging the bat, but only 2 swings and misses against 41 fastballs this season. Just to be clear on that, that's 41 fastballs that
he's offered at him.
Offered. Is that correct? Did I get that backwards?
Well, I don't know.
That's what I thought it was. Yep.
Yeah.
He swung at 41 and has only missed 2, because he's definitely seen more than that this year. That's amazing. In this swing and miss generation,
right,
it's even more amazing.
Off the plate.
And I don't care, and I understand it's a trend. I know where we are, and big swings and home runs and everything else, but I will take a contact hitter all day long. A guy like Elvis Andrus, who has shown power. Obviously, we saw it last year, but his progression, I think, is the way that you want to go. Become a good hitter first, let that power develop second.
Full count now on Andrus. 1 out, 1 man on here in the third inning. Rangers leading 1-0. I think we've seen it really come to fruition the last couple of years. Obviously, this is the power evolution. Everybody hitting home runs. We've talked at times about the number of players with 20 or more homers last year. In a way, you start to devalue the homer a little bit. 3-2. Bouncer into the hole, shortstop, and that one is through. Into third base is Chu on the Andrus seeing eye single. The hit run was on, and it opened up a gaping hole for him.
Well, this was so perfectly well done by the Rangers and Elvis Andrus. He gets that pitch down from Marcus Stroman, but think about this. What did he do in his previous at-bat? He had a line drive to the right side, just out of the reach of the second baseman, Travis. So what the Blue Jays do to counteract this, say if the runner goes, Travis, hold your position, our shortstop will cover. Elvis very well aware of that and hits himself a nice little dribbler for a base hit. Then you think about Ryan Rua hitting a ball, what, 110 miles an hour, and he is out. I don't know, what do you think? I'm going to say about, I'll go 62 miles per hour on that base hit.
Yeah, that's probably right about the
70. Just came in. Right? 70. Ryan Rue is thinking, I hit my ball 40 miles an hour harder than you did. And I lined out. That's the way it goes in this game. But that's really smart baseball.
One strike pitch to Mazzara. A little bit wide. 1-1 the count.
Let's hit one off the end of the bat. Hit it slow.
Andrus, that's his 5th multi-hit game of the year. 2nd most in Major League Baseball. Inside, it's 2-1 to Mazzara. Mazzara grounded out back in the first inning. He's 0 for 1.
Now I wonder if we'll see Elvis Andrus in motion here a little bit. 10 stolen bases against Marcus Stroman a year ago. 5 base stealers were thrown out. And Russell Martin threw out 20% of base runners last year, slightly below league average, but just the idea of maybe trying to stay out of the double play.
It's 3-1.
The flip side to that, and I wouldn't go necessarily now, it depends. But the flip side for Nomar Mazara is you leave the right side of the infield open. With the first baseman holding, so two different ways to look at it, whether or not you want to run Elvis Andrus here. We'll see what Jeff Bannister decides to do.
It's another 3-ball count for Stroman. He has 6 of those in the 13 batters he has faced. This ball hit hard on the ground. Travis with a smother of it to second for 1. On to first in time. But that one might be reviewed. You know, just the naked eye, to me, it looked like Mazara beat it. And Jeff Bannister asking for some help inside.
Well, let's see here as we see Nomar stretching, and it looks like the throw did indeed beat him right there, as it's already in the cylinder glove before the foot gets down, and so that will be indeed 4-6-3 double play.
Inning is done. Rangers leave a man. We've played 3. Well, a lot of baseball still to be played there, John. A little comebacker to Minor. And Donaldson retired easily to start the 4th inning.
And keep this in mind, similar to what we have going on here, they have going on in Philadelphia. It's 46 degrees there, game time temperature, and probably not getting any warmer. Let's take a look at this play by Mike Minor. Broken bat from Josh Donaldson, kind of a half swing as well. And those swings will always fool you a little bit. You see that little bit of a jerk there from Mike Minor. That flinch, you're not sure. You see the bigger swing. It's a nice job of sawing off that bat. And there's what he did last time. His first start of the year, 11 flyouts, 5 strikeouts, no groundouts. He's got 3 groundouts already today. So Mike Minor doing a nice job.
Yep, one of the groundouts today turned into a double play. 1-strike pitch to Smoke. Way in.
You and John Radigan, sweater brothers today.
Yep.
Twinsies.
Yeah. Well, we call that, you know what we call that, right? We call that foresight.
Yeah. Because if there's one thing I think about with Dave Raymond, foresight's a word that comes to mind.
2-1 the count on Smoke. Well, I did get a little lucky today. It's the only sweater I own. There's a strike, 2-2. In fact, I thought it was a little overkill when I threw it in the car today. I was like, well, this is silly. I'll drag it in and then we'll see. And then I got here and I thought, oh.
Just happy you brought your bag.
Yeah, there's that. There's just off the outside corner. We're hypothesizing a little earlier that maybe the strike zone would have some room left to right and not up and down so much. But whatever forgiveness we saw early from Mark Wegner seems to have dissipated in this cold weather. 3-2 pitch. And we'll do it again because even the corners, east to west, not really going to the pitcher lately.
Well, you want to remember, Josh Donaldson, his first at bat, voiced the complaint a little bit. It was only the second batter of the game. We thought we saw some of that. Anytime you can put that into an umpire's mind, sometimes, even though they would never admit this, I do believe it could have an effect. And what hitters and pitchers, all they want at the end of the day, they understand it's always going to be a little different. Every umpire is going to have a little bit of a different strike zone, and that's okay. They're actually okay with that as long as it's consistent. Consistency is the key. They just need to know if that pitch that's 2 inches off is getting called a strike. As long as it's getting called a strike most of the night, they can deal with it. They understand it. They don't have a problem, I think, with the human part of the game in that respect. And we sat here and had that conversation with the commissioner, Rob Manfred, on opening day, and he likes that as well, and the human element with umpires.
This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat, and Minor gets smoked swinging. 2 gone in the 4th inning on this chilly night, and we check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, progressive fan of the game. Time since it's Bark in the Park, I figured we needed to give it to a dog, and I was going to see if you guys could figure out why I selected Zuri, this dog right here.
It's got to be the bow in the hair, right? I would assume.
And we were kind of, you're talking about, Dave, you and John being sweater buddies.
Oh,
look,
thank you.
Twinning, Zuri and I.
Now you got a sweater sister.
I think that deserves fan of the game. What do you guys think?
I mean, I'm assuming she's a girl. I can't say for sure.
It is.
Okay.
It is. Zuri is a girl. So Heather, the owner of Zuri, gets the bag. And Zuri, it was nice twinning with you tonight.
Can I lick that? Is there any food in there?
Just give it a little lick. Oh, very nice.
Well, enjoy that the rest of the night, that microphone, Emily. I'm sure we can replace those, the filter on top of that.
Do you think dogs realize when they've been dressed up? Like, does she feel pretty?
I think so. I mean, she should. It's a lot of effort put into that. I think some dogs get it. Some dogs hate it, want to chew those clothes off right away. And some want to post it on Instagram.
Profar, plenty of time to make the spin and the throw. Down to first, and Gallo off the bag to make the tag. Mike Minor starting to cruise a little bit as we go to the last of the 4th. Jay had a setback with his surgery, but a lot of hard work. He's making his way back, and thrilled to have him back with us tonight. What a night you chose, Jay. What a night you chose. Man, I worked this hard to get back for this. Well, it's good to have you back. Well, it's good to be right here at Globe Life Park on, it is a very chilly night, but so far, very enjoyable game.
Yeah, what are you talking about, chilly? It was a working dog, I guess.
Yeah, apparently. Now,
I would say the dog, 9 out of 10 dogs will take the sweater over that, for sure.
They don't want to be saddled up.
I mean, it's a little embarrassing.
Pretend work.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic job by their owner. But look at his face. He is ashamed right now. Please, I hope none of my friends are watching this game.
Oh, yeah. 1-1 on Gallo. Yeah. They say the communication's like 70%, 80% nonverbal.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Speaking volumes there.
Without a doubt.
2 balls and a strike on Gallo, who walked in the second and has scored the only run in this game. Last year, of course, he walked a decent amount, 1 in every 7 plate appearances. Boy, smashes that one foul. And it led to a really good on base average, about 340 last year. And it led to the skipper putting him in the 2-hole this year, thinking some of that on base and power up top might be a real good idea. But he'd walked just once in his first 39 plate appearances this season, and dropped to 5th tonight. In the dirt, it's full count, but maybe more comfortable down there. He walked tonight.
Well, we said yesterday, we were talking about the Rangers have been the team that have been shifted against the most. What's going on here? We said 100% of the time that we thought Joey Gallo would get the shift, and the Blue Jays flipping the script right now. I'm sure Joey's probably a little bit flustered, like, who's that guy over there near third base?
He's walked again. Back-to-back walks tonight for Gallo, and a good start to the 4th inning.
There it is. It continues to climb for the Texas Rangers. No offense has been shifted against more than these Texas Rangers. It looked, I think it catches your attention now when they're not doing it against Joey Gallo. And I'm curious about the reasoning now. It could be pitcher based. Marcus Stroman's got a really good sinker. It's hard to pull that pitch firmly. If he makes a mistake, Joey Gallo will smash that ball to right field with the best of them. But if he locates that pitch well, and that's what you have to do with these shifts, are you banking on your starting pitcher or any pitcher hitting a spot or missing a spot? And in the case of Marcus Stroman, who's got really good command, usually you bank on him hitting a spot. So in that sense, I got to believe that's why the Blue Jays decided to keep the left side of their infield intact.
Just off the plate, 1-1. I'm going to go a different direction with you on that one.
What do you got?
Well, not the first sinker baller he's faced. Take Dallas Keuchel as an example.
Yep.
I think the fact is, if we think about the first 8 games of the year, 9 games of the year, we've seen him go the other way a lot. I think he's kind of flipping the script on people. So strike in there to Profar makes it 1-2. He's hit enough the other way, both on the ground and in the air, that at some point, if you're managing the other team, you have to look at that data and say, okay, well, maybe he has added that trick to the arsenal, and we need to at least be respectful of that.
It would be smart. To me, that's the way that you do it, and stay updated on that data.
There's a little roller into right field for Profar. So a walk and a base hit. Very similar start here in the 4th inning to what we saw in the 2nd when the Rangers scored the only run of this game.
It's good to see Jurickson Profar now on in 2 at-bats, and Marcus Stroman threw that ball exactly where he wanted. They were trying to go up and in on Jurickson Profar. They got it there. He was ready for it, and it really has been amazing to see him put together quality at-bats with that limited playing time. Jurickson Profar does it again, and now Juan Centeno, another opportunity here with runners at first and second and nobody out. Tried to get the bunt down last time. He struggled. We'll see if they try to do it again.
Centeno pops it foul over to the left side. Little update for you, by the way, on your Phillies score. It's 20-1.
I mean, just wave the white flag. Like, you should be allowed to do that, especially if it's under 50 degrees like it is. I'm sure it's only gotten colder there. You know, run rule.
Well,
in Little League, you do it.
Just take the forfeit 9-0. It'd improve all your stats.
15 after 3, 10 after 5, or whatever it is. I'm sure there's got to be a pitcher in there, right? Or excuse me, a position player. Do we have one yet? I see Tazawa's in there right now.
0-2 here on Centeno.
That's always fun. Watching a backup infielder come in, try to shut it down for an inning.
A lot of times they do.
Yeah, throw below the hitting speed.
Ooh, strike 3 call. That one right on the inside corner. Centeno turned away.
That's a tough call. It was so interesting, right? We were talking about it earlier. 3-0 counts, how the strike zone has a tendency to get a little wide. Well, the same can happen 0-2. And I thought this pitch was in a little bit, but it comes back and catches the inside corner, according to Mark Wegner. Very little movement there from Russell Martin. Tough pitch, tough call against Juan Centeno.
So now Ryan Rua blasted a ball for a sac fly in the second inning. And he takes ball 1. It's one of the more impressive sac flies I've seen in a while.
You're insulting that ball by calling it a fly. I mean, it was an absolute missile to right that Randall Grichuk made a very nice play on.
Stroman's pitch. High fly, back of second. Coming in for it is Pilar, and they're 2 away. Well, 2:05 tomorrow. Final game in this 3-game series for 7,500 fans, 13 and under. Get a Rangers pocket tee, courtesy of Dasani. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Upgraded the music this year.
Yes, we have.
Love it. Here's Drew Robinson. Stroman working from the stretch and misses off the plate. Robinson grounded out in the second inning, 0 for 1. Well, we talked at the open of the broadcast tonight about some of the trends for this offense, recent trends, and a lot of the help coming from the bottom of the order with some of the good at bats that Robinson has been producing. He slipped into that starting role in center field and taken advantage of it. Stroman, meanwhile, laboring a little bit here, approaching 70 pitches.
Check this out 2 pitches ago for Marcus Stroman. Always a guy with a little bit of style, changes things up a little bit. Watch this. We didn't push the pause button. He actually just stopped there for a quarter of a second, trying to get the timing of Drew Robinson off a little bit. You got to be careful doing that stuff when you're in the stretch.
Gallo at second, Profar at first. And it's 2-2 on Robinson.
We got the hoodie over the hat. Kevin Pilar, not completely blocking
the
logo.
You don't like it when guys mess around with the logo.
You know, I just feel like you should let your team know. Now, I will say, in the name of warmth, I'm okay with it to some degree.
Oh, strike 3 called in that inside corner to left-handed hitters, suddenly open for Mark Wegner, plate umpire. Rangers leave a pair, and we go to the 5th. There's no hidden fees. That's transparency. A cool winter night here tonight at Globe Life Park. 1-0 our score. Hey, MLB At Bat, your #1 Rangers app. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Rangers home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, highlights, stats, news, and a whole lot more. You can get all of that and all sorts of other stuff just by downloading the MLB At Bat app today. Minor has retired 10 straight, but goes 2-0 on Russell Martin.
Looked like he was having some issues early on when he walked 2 of the first 3 hitters to start off this game. Maybe a little bit of feel. But ever since he got that double play to end that inning, he's really been on cruise control.
It's a high strike call here. 2-1. Martin struck out swinging in the second. Well, this is year 1 of a 3-year deal for Mike Minor. Rangers committing to Minor this offseason, and when you again look at the landscape of free agency this last offseason, it's a pretty significant gesture. They really like his arm, and he did such a great job last year in Kansas City. There was some thought, hey, listen, he wants to be a starter again. Everybody needs starting pitching. Let's give it a shot. The only caveat is that they are accommodating the transition back to starting pitching by giving him 5 full days of rest every time around here in the early part of the year.
And with the off day coming up, maybe an extra day in there potentially, and it makes sense. He throws a really good changeup there to Russell Martin below the zone for his 4th strikeout of the night. Watch the glove of Juan Centeno. Watch where this ball ends up. Exactly where he wanted it. Good little fade, as you can see Russell Martin way out front. Good depth to that pitch.
So that's 11 straight for Minor, who walked a couple in the first, but that is all.
I think with you were talking about the contract and maybe some of the risk and what we saw this winter. I think for the Rangers, their worst case scenario with this contract is still a pretty good one. I mean, not barring injury or anything else, but worst case scenario was you'll end up with a really, really good dominant reliever. Right? If for some reason wasn't comfortable starting and you give it a half a year or something, it wasn't working out, the fallback is that you have a really good reliever and a guy who can throw some innings, which he did last year, in an era where the bullpen has become so important and guys have become so highly valued. I mean, we've seen it just based on the makeover that the Ranger bullpen has already gotten this year and the guys that are down there and the length in which they can go. So I think it's a quality risk that the Rangers certainly took, and so far through 1.5 starts looked really good. Here's what Mike Minor did a year ago: 77 2/3 innings, all of those out of the bullpen.
1-2 the count on Kevin Pillar. And that one's a little bit in. Yeah, as a starter so far, he's looked really good. And during spring training when we saw him, the little that we did, just because you don't always see everybody during those spring training games, and you don't always see them very long, he looked pretty sharp. But you can see he's got the great stuff. Today we've seen the velocity as high as 95. 2-2. Up and away. The other thing, when you look back at the numbers last year for Minor, he led that Kansas City staff in relief wins, was 2nd in appearances. He did not give up home runs. 3-2. That ball hit well out to left field. Rua going back into the corner, and he's going to have to take this off the fence. It blasts past him. So Pillar around second goes for 3. Here comes the throw. Not in time. And there's the first hit of the game for the Blue Jays.
You got that awkward kind of angle. You're going to see this ball as Ryan Rua chases it, and you're not quite sure which part of the wall it's going to hit, and it was so close to where it angles, and really nothing Ryan Rua could do about that. He was probably expecting that to hit closer to that Budweiser sign and bounce straight back to him, but just another foot or so to the left, and it takes a completely different bounce. And unfortunately with Kevin Pillar, there's not too many guys in the ballpark tonight in which that is a triple, but Kevin Pillar is one of them, and it was even a close play at that.
So now the infield pulled way in up on the edge of the grass, and maybe in a step on the grass. Ledmus Diaz swings and misses at a strike.
And with one out, not a bad play here with Diaz up. 241 against lefties going back to the beginning of last season. Let's see what he's done so far this year.
1-1 on Diaz, who does have a couple of home runs. Blue Jays scored 8 runs last night and winning the opener. And they converted on a couple of different situations with runners at third base. A few sacrifice flies. 1 for 3 technically. And Pilar at third, 1 out here in the 5th inning. Miners 1-2. Up and away. Diaz did not play yesterday. Miner hasn't had too many real tough battles yet tonight. First inning, we mentioned he walked 2 hitters. But after the second walk, he got a double play. Inning was done.
We'll see where he goes here. He has not shown Diaz a changeup yet in this at bat. Same pitch he struck Martin out on. There it is.
Strike 3. And Diaz strikes out for the second out of the inning.
Well, that was right on time. Mike Minor did a great job of getting to 2 strikes without showing the changeup, and then he brings it out in the right spot, a huge spot with the runner on third and 1 out, and it gets Diaz way out front for the swing and miss.
You see his last start against the Astros went 4 2/3. He threw 93 pitches in that one. He did have to labor a little bit. He's still well shy of that pitch count tonight.
Threw 4 2/3 and 20 less pitches.
Grichuk takes the very first pitch and lifts it out to Ryan Rua, and the inning is done. So Mike Minor works around the 1-out triple. It's still 1-0 Rangers. The final game in this 3-game series. Our pregame coverage starts at 1:30. And tomorrow's game will be on Fox Sports Southwest Plus. You can find a complete listing of channel numbers for your cable provider at foxsportssouthwest.com. Again, 1:30 tomorrow only on Fox Sports Southwest Plus. Bottom of the 5th, but it's the top of the order for the Rangers. Chu, Odor, and Elvis Andrus. Marcus Stroman. He's kind of battled himself a little bit today, but has limited the damage to a run on 4 hits. A little bit low. It's 1-1. Stroman, definitely one of the better starters in the American League. CJ and I maybe differ just a touch on how good Stroman is. 5'8", a little fella. 180 pounds.
This
and
is
only 26 years old.
Yeah, and a special guy too, right? I mean, first-round draft pick out of Duke. Got hurt a couple years ago. Missed some time. Goes back and gets his degree from Duke. Most players come out of college and they get their professional career started, and it's just hard to go back and really finish it. But he knew the opportunity was there and how important it would be, and something certainly to be admired about Marcus Stroman. As is this, as he is our Kubota power stats for this evening. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 55 of the 90 career starts that he has made, and he has been very, very good. The conversation you and I were having in the pregame, would you say he's an ace? He's certainly top of the rotation. I think he's really close. Can't quite put him in that Scherzer, Kershaw category for me just yet.
Strikeouts. I mean, it really comes down to it. You need strikeouts.
Well, I don't need them because Dallas Keuchel is a ground ball pitcher who doesn't necessarily dominate the strikeout part. I just think he's really close. It's been a couple of seasons with 200+ innings, or right at 200, just over. But there's just a little bit more there, I think, that we need to see to put him in that 1% class of starting pitchers in the league. He's good. I don't want to take anything away from him. I think he's good for the game too, because of the personality. He has a lot of fun when he's out there. A little bit animated. I think fans are certainly drawn to that. They love him in Toronto. There is a Texas Ranger under there somewhere.
Rougned Odor, we're pretty certain. Rookie 0 for 2. And he takes up and away. 2-0 the count.
So Odor, getting that opportunity to start in the 2-hole in the batting order this evening. Look at this, what has done over the course of his career. 310 batting average, 927 OPS for Rougned Odor, hitting second. That is far and away the best numbers of any spot in the order in which he has hit. Now it's only been, this will be his 36th game hitting in the 2 spot. It's 153 plate appearances coming into tonight, but this is interesting. Joey Gallo dropped here a little bit. Big changes in the batting order tonight. Gallo hitting 5th, had been hitting 2nd. This may be something potentially. I know it's only 1 run here so far, but I wonder if Jeff Bannister will try this a little bit more often.
Boy, a 4-pitch walk to Rougned Odor, and so the first 2 men on here in the 5th inning. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with John Radigan. All right, thanks, John. Here, a big situation brewing. Pitch count climbing for Stroman. And he's having a hard time finding the strike zone. 10 pitches in the inning, and he's only thrown 1 strike. See Andrus with runners in scoring position. He's been so good the last couple of years. The Rangers hitless so far tonight, 0 for 6 in these spots.
This is only the 4th time in Stroman's career in which he's walked 5 batters or more.
This one popped up into shallow center. Pilar making it clear that it was his ball, and that is out number 1.
I told you, and I mentioned this earlier about Marcus Stroman, a guy who has had elite command over the course of his career. His walk rate, 2.4 per 9. That does put him in the upper echelon of starting pitchers around the league. And so to see him walk 5 here so far tonight, just one of those has scored. 2 of them are currently on base, but he had 5 walks twice last year and then once in 2016. This is 91st start in the big leagues.
See, I think it's just because he doesn't have a pop off the page fastball, or you know what I mean?
No, that's not it.
He doesn't have some circus pitch or something, because you break down all the numbers, CJ, and he is as good as anybody in the game.
He doesn't dominate righties. 271 batting average against. And listen, he's good. Again, don't want to take anything away from him. I think he's very, very good. But to put him in the next category, and he can get there. I absolutely think he can get there. But I mean, if you're talking about top 10 starters in the game, both leagues, I think he's just outside of that group. Just outside of Chris Sale, Kershaw, Scherzer, that group. Really close.
Okay, that's 3. Here's Mazzara. And he takes low for a ball. All right, Stroman or David Price?
David Price throwing well right now. He looks like old David Price so far this year. Had you asked me this in July, it would have been a different answer.
And that's kind of my point. Stroman is the same guy every single day.
Yeah. Which is very good.
2, maybe 3 runs a game.
David Price has he's got hardware. And a monster contract. Corey Kluber? No. Luis Severino? Not quite yet. Greinke, maybe. He's maybe gaining on Greinke a little bit. He's starting to show a little slip in his game.
There's a balk call on Stroman that time. He went with a hesitation, held that knee up there. And you mentioned it earlier, you got to be a little careful with runners on base doing this hesitation.
And I just don't think the risk reward is really here. If he completely stops, I'm guessing that's probably what the issue was as he brings that leg up. Yeah, I mean, you can't. It's essentially what you're doing is you're stopping twice. I think he got away with it the first time, but it's a stop and a start. And that's exactly what he did. And when you're in the stretch, once you start, you can't stop again. Even though it's awkward and you figure his leg's in the air. I'm guessing the first time they saw it, that they said, okay, well, it was still a little bit of movement in those legs. But that looks like a complete pause, which you cannot do.
Well, that could be a huge play. 2 men in scoring position now. That one in the dirt.
I don't think David Price has ever done that. I'm just saying.
I'm with you. I don't think he ever has. Chu is at third and Odor at second base. And Stroman, for all his struggles tonight, he really has not been that sharp. All the walks, the deep counts.
Yeah, the Rangers.
So 10 more balls than strikes.
They put really good at bats against him. Probably struggling a little bit with this weather. Getting a good grip on the ball. I think that's perfectly reasonable on a night like tonight.
Somehow, though, he has managed to limit the damage, at least to this point. Now, he is certainly on the high wire right now. A 2-minute scoring position, cleanup man at the plate, and that pitch count climbing.
Well, that's the thing. You really want to see the Rangers be able to cash in on the 9 base runners that Marcus Stroman has allowed so far this season. Just 1 run to show for it. 2 of those base runners obviously out there right now.
2-2 inside, and it's a full count on Mazzara. Hey, there he is.
Yeah, now I can recognize him.
Adrian.
Got a layer count on the head right there. At least 3.
Yeah.
You don't get this kind of weather in the DR. Robinson doesn't get it in Venezuela, that is for sure.
10th 3-ball count of the night, and that one strike called. Full count on Mazzara. Joey Gallo would be next. And there's a swinging strikeout. So Mazzara, the second out of the inning. And those struggles with runners in scoring position continue tonight.
Well, that's the thing about Marcus Stroman. Even though it's not his best night, it's only 1 run across the board so far, and he has the kind of stuff where he can come back. And so even when he's off the way he has been so far, John Gibbons hasn't flinched. He's allowed him to pitch through trouble. We haven't seen any action in their bullpen yet. He knows that Marcus Stroman is the kind of guy that has earned the right to kind of pitch through it, and he's been able to make big pitches in big spots.
Goes after Gallo with strike one. Joey has walked both times tonight. Two walks to start the inning. A balk has put two men in scoring position. 1-0 Rangers lead. 1-1 to Gallo. So Joey, for the first time this season, batting somewhere other than the second spot of the order.
And no shift. We'll see, based on what you were saying, is it something that other teams will do? They see what the Blue Jays are seeing in their data. The Astros, obviously a huge shift team. We'll see them here sooner than later after the next road trip. Probably go to Houston. It'll be next week after the Angels series. I say they still go shift heavy.
Oh, I'm sure
they
will.
Love the four-man outfield conversation.
2-1. And this one hit hard by first, and that's a fair ball down into the corner. What a big hit for Gallo. 2 is in. Odor will be in. And Gallo stops at second with a 2-run double. Rangers lead it 3-0.
We had been waiting and waiting for someone in this Rangers offense to make Marcus Stroman pay for the night that he has had and the runners that he has put on base. And Joey Gallo is that man to do that in a huge spot. Slid down to the 5th spot in the order, and he has responded with a couple of walks, and now this huge double as this ball is smoked down the right field line and into the corner for an easy double, as both Chu and Odor score very easily with 2 outs. And a big spot for Joey Gallo, and he was pretty excited when he got to second base. It's been a nice night for him here, hitting back in the 5th hole.
Yeah, that one felt good for Joey Gallo. Emily?
Yeah, I think that just speaks to how comfortable Joey is at the plate, in the field, in the clubhouse. He really came into his own last season, carrying it over into this season. He doesn't seem to get rattled by things perhaps the way that he used to, whether it be within an at-bat or from game to game. He doesn't really seem bothered if he gets into a slump, confident that he's going to come out of it. And so it's nice to see that pay off for him here tonight.
Against a really good pitcher, I think, as Dave said, best in all of baseball. And that certainly is encouraging, but it is a tough guy to hit off of. He just pitched Nomar Mazar really well in that spot with a couple of runners on after the balk, and you know that Marcus Stroman is going to give you a tough at bat every single time, and so that's a rewarding at bat for Joey Gallo.
Well, it's just a huge one for this game, and Profar takes a strike, 1-1. And so we get some activity in that Blue Jays bullpen.
Danny Barnes is up and looks like he might be close to ready. He must have been throwing for a while. Usually a night like this, taking a little bit longer for those relievers to get ready.
Bouncer down the first baseline. That's a fair ball. Gallo rounds third. He'll score. Profar chugging into second, and he's going to stop it there. 3 runs are in the inning, and the Rangers lead it 4-0. Boy, back-to-back 2-out doubles. And those finally knock Stroman out of the game.
Well, it's good to see Jurickson Profar come through as well, because he has put together some pretty good at-bats, and it's been a nice night for him on base all 3 nights. A walk, a single, and now this double right in the same spot that Joey Gallo hit his. That helmet stood no chance of staying on Profar's head, and Joey Gallo coming around second and scoring easily, and the young guys coming through here in the 5th for the Rangers.
So John Gibbons into his bullpen with the Rangers up 4-0. 4-0. Profar in scoring position out there at second base with 2 out. Juan Centeno to bat against the new pitcher, Danny Barnes.
5th game of the year for Danny Barnes, and you see what he has done so far here. 3 strikeouts, no walks. He has allowed a home run in his 3 innings of work.
Centeno takes off the plate for a ball. Centeno 0 for 2, grounded out in the 2nd inning, struck out on the 4th. Mentioned it earlier, just the 3rd start this season for Centeno. And it is 2-0. Back up for Robinson Chirinos. Centeno really good defensively. Impressed us with a handful of really good plays behind the plate during spring training. And he's had some good at-bats here in the regular season as well. Hits this ball on the ground, right side, and that one is through. That's a base hit. And Profar comes all the way around to score. 5-0 Rangers.
Juan Centeno has done a very nice job in the backup role and taking advantage of the opportunities when he's getting them. And he's had some bad luck where he hits the balls hard, but put together good at-bats, and another guy getting rewarded for the work that he has done. This is a pretty good pitch, well located down and away in that 2-0 count, but Centeno does a nice job of getting that ball through the right side. Driving in yet another run here for the Texas Rangers.
No. You love when your team scores runs, but it's even better when they get those 2-out runs, and all 4 runs this inning have come with 2 outs. Double, double, single. Centeno at first. And now the 1-strike pitch to Ryan Rua, and it is a little bit low and outside. 1-1. Rangers got their first run in the 2nd inning on Rua's sacrifice fly. We had other opportunities, but really didn't break through until this inning. Now 1-2 the count. That last run charged to Stroman's line, so he surrenders all 5 tonight. Rua pops this one straight back out of play. No Adrian Beltre in the lineup tonight, and a little shakeup for a couple of guys. Joey Gallo dropped into the 5th spot on the order. All he has done is walk twice, driving a couple with a double. And now Rua lines one out to left field, and that one is trapped. That's a base hit. I thought Rua was going to get robbed again, but Pierce didn't quite get that one cleanly. And it's another 2-out hit.
So thankful this ball hit the ground first, and it did. And you see it right there, and a good call by the 3rd base umpire, John Tompane, as you see Pierce coming in, and that ball absolutely caught a little bit of grass. And I'm with you. As I'm watching Pierce come in, I'm like, oh, please don't. Please hit some grass. Ryan Rua does not deserve that ball to be caught after the 110-mile-an-hour line out that he had back in the 2nd inning. Good to see him joining the party here tonight.
Well, that gets a 9th hitter up this inning for the Rangers. Robinson, who was grounded out and struck out tonight. Centeno at 2nd, Rua at 1st, and Danny Barnes delivers in there for a strike.
Here it is one more time from Pierce. You see it catching a little bit of grass. And he's I think he kind of knew it. That's a great reaction. He's cold. He's been out there for a while. That's really what that's about.
That was a fantastic look. 1-1 on Robinson. That was a look that my middle son gives my wife every now and then when he walks into the kitchen. Brussels sprouts. It's the exact same look. So Barnes has given up 2 hits, and both, I mean, just inches away from being caught. 1 and 2 on Robinson. Ground ball by Centeno through the right side of the infield, went right off the edge of Travis's glove, the second baseman. And then Rua narrowly got that one down in front of Pierce. Here's the 1-2. And Robinson fouls it back at us.
That is beautiful for that fan right in front of us. Didn't have to make an effort, but he's got the gloves on, so it is a day where you could, feel pretty confident catching the ball. He's looking for somebody. Any takers? Not going to give it away. I mean, he did not even have to get out of his seat. Reach over.
He was really happier that it didn't hit him.
I think so. I think there was a look of relief on his face.
Foul again.
Shot, same section.
A little more effort.
There we go.
This time. A different gentleman who got himself a souvenir. And he is not looking for somebody to give that to.
That is right in the pocket.
One's going home. Barnes sets again, the 1-2. Oh, strike 3 called. That was a tough one for Robinson. The inning is done. The Rangers, though, with a 4-run rally with 2 outs. And it started with Joey Gallo blasting one to right field. And the Rangers with a 5-0 lead.
Player breakdown. It's going to be Mike Minor and the use of the full repertoire 94-mile-an-hour fastball that got Josh Donaldson looking back in the first inning. And then the slider against Russell Martin. That one just really took off. Martin had no chance as he swung over the top. And then the great changeup later to Justin Smoke. Mike Minor using all of his pitches tonight and using them well. And he's getting ready now to start his 6th inning of work. He has been fantastic. He's done a great job with the pitch count, and the Rangers also giving him some tremendous run support with the 4 runs they put up in the bottom of the 5th.
Devin Travis lines that one out to left field, and Ryan Rua returning the favor, taking one away from a Blue Jay.
This play is a little bit more difficult on a night like tonight, but a good job by Ryan Rua to slide in and make this catch. You kind of get caught in between on those on whether you want to dive or slide. Does whatever he's got to do as he started the dive and then Kind of switched over to the slide. Whatever it takes.
One away. Now back to the top of the order for Steve Pearce.
How about this pitch count for Mike Minor? That was number 77 here as he heads into the 6th inning. Oh, that Astros lineup, we know, one of the toughest in the American League. They made him work. They've made all the Rangers pitchers work in that 4-game series. Make it a little bit tougher on you to keep that pitch count down. I thought Mike Minor looked good in that one. He has looked even better in this start tonight.
1-2 to Pearce. And that one's just a little bit outside. Well, the longest start so far this year for the Rangers was Bartolo Colon's 6-inning effort in Oakland. Minor can at the very least match that if he can get a couple more outs here. And certainly by that pitch count, you would think maybe he could even get you an out or two, maybe through the 7th inning. Full count pitch, and Pearce swings and hits this ball well down the left field line toward the pole, and gone. That is a home run for Steve Pearce. And that solo shot ruins the shutout bid. Gets Toronto on the board. It's a 5-1 game. Pearce's first home run of the year.
Well, Mike Minor is a guy who's done such an excellent job of keeping the ball in the ballpark, especially last year in the bullpen. We'll see this pitch here elevated a little bit more than he wanted, trying to go down and away. And instead, it looked like that fastball just split the plate and up, giving Pearce a chance. And 90 miles an hour out of the hand of Mike Minor. Just 2 hits tonight so far for the Blue Jays, a triple, and now that home run.
Josh Donaldson takes the ball. Donaldson struck out looking in the 1st inning, and then he bounced back to the mound in the 4th. Home run by Pearce, traveled 387 feet. Donaldson turns that one foul. I guess I don't know that I could translate that quickly enough, but I'll say like 112 meters. Something like that.
Your efforts are greatly appreciated by our friends to the north.
Strike 2 called. All right, our bullpen live look brought to you by Southwest. Kevin Jepson getting loose out there, so Minor's day might be getting close to a conclusion. Boy, that ball pounded foul by Donaldson.
You're talking about the Rangers last inning and how all 4 of those runs were scored with 2 outs. Now Steve Pearce hits that home run, and listen, it's a big deal to run, but it doesn't feel nearly as big of a deal had the score been 1-0 Rangers at the time that he hit it. You go back to that Joey Gallo at bat.
Strike 3 called. Donaldson, the 2nd out of the inning. Oh, and Donaldson, who had a little trouble earlier with Mark Wegner, gets a couple more words in.
He does, but I think he has less of an argument this time than he did back in the 1st inning. The fastball was close in the 1st inning, but this pitch right here, that one I think is pretty well located right at the bottom of the zone, and it's that changeup from Mike Minor at 85 miles per hour. A little bit of frustration boiling over there for Josh Donaldson. 2 called 3rd strikes in this game. Take another look here from Mike Minor, and the look from Josh Donaldson, talking about that ball being down. Tremendous sense of humor, by the way. Josh Donaldson certainly has a lot of fun, but you know he's going to say something there. Now, not that he was trying to be funny in that spot by any means, but once in a while sarcasm will get your point across as well. But I just want to say real quick, going back and looking at that Joey Gallo at bat, I mean, that is so huge in that 5th inning. You got 2 outs, a couple of runners on. He hits that double, and it just keeps that inning going, and ultimately it led to 4 runs. And the difference between, saying that being a bad at bat, say he pops out, strikes out, whatever it may be, well, all of a sudden now this game is tied because of the Steve Pearce home run. So obviously every at bat that followed was important as well, with Profar, Centeno, and Rua all singling to drive in more runs. But that at bat by Joey Gallo with 2 outs was huge.
Strike called. Full count on Justin Smoak. And the payoff. Swung on and missed, strike 3. If that's it for Minor tonight, he ended with an exclamation point.
Well, excellent job by Mike Minor, first getting Donaldson, and then Justin Smoak, the little backdoor slider. We highlighted it in our open, and there it is to finish off Smoak.
Bottom of the 6th inning here at Globe Life Park. Rangers leading it 5-1. Great to have you along with us tonight. Top of the order against Danny Barnes, Shin-Soo Choo, and he takes ball 1. Choo is our TXU power player to watch tonight. That on base percentage, .370 when hitting first in the order since 2016. Best in the American League. Today's been on 2 times, and he's only been up there for 3 trips.
What's amazing is that, I mean, he's a leadoff hitter in every sense of the word tonight. He's led off an inning 4 times. A lot of times we talk about, well, leadoff hitter, right? You hear managers talk about, well, we're going to use this guy. When we start to see some non-traditional guys leading off, which has happened over the last couple of years, Joe Mauer at one point getting some leadoff at bats with the Minnesota Twins, and a manager will say, well, leadoff hitter really only leads off the game. Well, Choo tonight leading off an inning for the 4th time.
Skies this one straight up in the air on the left side. And Diaz takes care of it. Now, tomorrow, the final game of this series in our probables, brought to you by North Texas Ford. Jaime Garcia's first career start against the Rangers. And Cole Hamels off his 11 strikeout performance on Tuesday at Oakland. Join us tomorrow, the game on Fox Sports Southwest Plus.
How is that possible?
Well, I think there's something on Fox Sports Southwest, so they just bump our game to the Plus.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
How is that possible that Jaime Garcia has never started against the Rangers? I mean, I understand that he's been predominantly a National League pitcher, but this is a guy that broke in the league in 2008. He's got 175 career starts.
And 175 of them against somebody other than the Rangers.
It's amazing.
One gone here in the 6th inning.
If it wasn't for the chain, I'm not sure I'd know who that was. The chain is a dead giveaway
Yes.
for Odor.
Ground ball foul.
Oh,
For strike 2.
I feel like that would be cold against your skin right now.
Yeah, no, I'm
Right?
with you.
I mean, I stood up to stretch the legs for about 30 seconds and sat back down, and my chair was freezing. I'm like, well, I'm not doing that again. I'll stretch when I get home. Ooh, nice. Good call on the blanket.
Very strong. Yep.
Chocolate.
Got some hot chocolate, some coffees. 1-2. Off the plate. 2-2 the count. We got a really good crowd here tonight too on this Saturday night. Braving sub 40-degree weather probably when they took off, when they left their house. We got to about 40 and change at game time. 740 dogs with us tonight. Here they are. Some of them still into the game. Some of them,
I mean, pretty well behaved, for at least for what we see. And that's, I love when they do that, where it looks like he's just right in the seat. He's like, hey, could you move your foot, dude? I can't see.
they're killing me. Oh my goodness.
That guy's sleepy.
Oh,
Snoozing on the car ride home for sure.
swing and a miss, strike 3, and Odor goes down for the 2nd out of the 6th inning.
The shortstop, Elvis.
Nice Beagle. Oh, hey, other dogs, how about our first Texas Chili Company $1 hot dog night of the season? Wednesday night, Rangers Angels. Enjoy all the hot dogs you can eat, just $1 each. Go to TexasRangers.com or call 972 Rangers. Elvis Andrews, hard ground ball, second base, Travis right there. And it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 6th inning. So we go to the 7th with the Rangers up by 4.
Globe Park is home to the best fireworks shows in Texas. Reminder, T-Mobile presents the fireworks show.
For the most memorable event of the season. See your favorite players in a fun off-the-field setting. It's the Sultan Soiree Triple Play Spectacular. It's at the Hilton Anatole on May 9th. And you can secure your tickets today at TexasRangers.com/triple play. I think they may have worked on that graphic since we last did that promo. That's pretty fancy stuff. Kevin Jepson is on here for Mike Minor in the 7th inning.
A 6th game for Jepson, who's done a nice job coming out of the bullpen for the Rangers. You see just that 154 batting average against. 4 innings worth of work and just 1 walk allowed.
You're able to handle everything here with the current blanket situation you've got going.
And a little bit warmer. I made fun of your sweater, but now I regret not having one. And look, everybody likes a good blanket on a night like tonight.
And we're sure that's a blanket, not an old pair of blue jeans or something?
It's definitely thicker than your average pair of blue jeans.
What do you know about my
You know, I
average pair of
wanted
blue
to have
jeans?
the windows closed, but you wouldn't allow it. I know Tom would never allow it. And I don't have a sweater and a couple other jackets like you do. I was not prepared for this weather.
So you got that little trick.
So I dug this thing out of
the trunk of someone's car. You're going to return it before they
the locker.
Go back after the game. That one, check swing, and they said he did not go. Interesting. A lot of blankets out there tonight.
Problem is there's no holes for the arm to do the scorecard, so it gets a little dicey.
Might have to get you one of those, God, what are they called? The Snuggie?
You would have never got that. You got some nice help from yesterday's birthday boy. I heard it.
2 balls and a strike on Solarte.
What happened to the Snuggie?
Say again?
The Snuggie kind of disappeared.
It was a hot item there for a little bit.
It was.
How many did you end up buying?
I don't think I have any, believe it or not.
Have to give you some of ours. Jepson's 2-1. Way up there. 3-1 to Solarte. So Minor went 6 innings, allowed a run on 2 hits, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts. Frankly, was fantastic tonight. And gives it over to the bullpen with a 4-run lead. A 3-1 pitch. And a little tall. So he walks Solarte. It's hard not to notice when it happens, because it happened so often last year where guy would come out of the bullpen and walk the lead man. It was oftentimes a harbinger of not so great things to come. Now this year the bullpen by and large really has done a nice job. But you never like to see that. Martin, bouncer at third base. Great diving stop by Profar. A second one, and there's your double play. 5-4-3. Second time tonight that the Rangers have gone around the horn.
What a tremendous play by Jurickson Profar, of course, filling in tonight for Adrian Beltre. This is the second double play that Jepson has already gotten early here in the season, but he has to go one step to his left and the dive, and if he doesn't make that throw from his knees, this would not be a double play. So a great reaction and a smart move for Profar to make that throw, and it was a good one to Rougned Odor, who made the turn in plenty of time. And just as you were talking that leadoff walk, you concern yourself with what could happen right after. Well, no quicker way to erase that than the double play started by Jepson.
Big lift defensively right there. And now Kevin Pillar, who is 1 for 2. He has half the Blue Jays hits tonight. Lifts this one in the air out to right center field, and that one tracked down by Drew Robinson to complete the inning. And just like that, we'll head to the bottom of the 7th inning. But first, we hand it over to Chuck Morgan for God Bless America.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Will you please rise?
We're going to take you back to the 5th inning. The big at-bat from Joey Gallo with 2 outs to drive in 2, and then it was Jurickson Profar with a double. Back-to-back doubles for the Rangers, and then Juan Centeno chipping in with a base hit and an RBI of his own, and that was really what powered that big 4-run 5th inning for the Rangers and put them well in the lead here. Now 5-1 in the bottom of the 7th.
Tyler Clippard has come on out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays, his 5th appearance.
We were talking about this bullpen last night, game 1 against the Toronto Blue Jays. They only have 1 lefty down there, but they have some righties that do a good job against lefties.
Zara flies out to center field, 1 away here in the 7th.
And Tyler Clippard is one of those guys. His batting average against left-handed hitters going back to last season, 143. He's done an excellent job against those lefties. He has the same exact batting average against righties at 143 going back to the beginning last season, according to Inside Edge.
Gallo, much like Mazzara, with a fly ball to medium deep center field. So 2 quick outs for Tyler Clippard. Time for a Chevy game break. Where's John Radigan?
Thank you. Appreciate it. Want to give up that sweater? I'll take it. I would take it right now.
Pipe down, Linus. Here's Profar. You can see 2 hits. He and Elvis Andrus leading the way in the hit column tonight. Good offense spread up and down the order for the Rangers this evening. So a very different looking lineup tonight for the Rangers, but it is produced to the tune of 5 runs on 8 hits. Clippard's 2-0.
There's a changeup, and to give you an idea of why a righty like Tyler Clippard might be so good against left-handed hitters, 66% of what he throws to lefties is either a changeup or a split finger. He throws just 36% fastballs to lefties, so he relies on the changeup. There's a fastball right there at 90 miles an hour, and he'll throw it right out of that same spot. It'll either be the straight change or the split, and when it's on, he can be very, very tough against lefties. He is the kind of guy you bring into the conversation when you're trying to build a bullpen and say, well, do I take the best available, or do I try to get at least that 1 or 2 lefties in the pen? And when he can do that kind of damage that he's done against lefties, a guy like Tyler Clippard will often get the nod.
Well, they dispatched of Mazzara and Gallo pretty quickly and easily, but a full count to Profar, and Profar fouls it back our direction. But Jurickson getting the start today at 3rd base. He has done a spectacular job down there, and he has reached all 3 times he has come up tonight as well. So all the way around, a very good night for him. And he hits this ball well out to center field. Pilar, though, going back and is able to make the play. So a 1-2-3 bottom of the 7th, and the 8th inning is next. and by your North Texas Ford dealer. See your best in Texas Ford dealer during Truck Month. It's buy now time. To the 8th inning, Rangers with the 5-1 lead, and Jepsen out to do a little more work here in the 8th. They'll have the bottom third of the order for the Blue Jays. Diaz, Grichuk, and Devin Travis. Jepsen through a scoreless 7th inning after the leadoff walk, got a double play ground ball and a fly ball to center field, and just like that, he was back in the dugout.
He only needed 7 pitches to do it, and I think that earned him a 2nd inning here for Jeff Bannister.
Diaz pops the first pitch high in the air, left side of the infield, and Profar with a great job of calling off Centeno and making that play. I don't know if that's an easy play for anybody, but Profar very confidently seeing that he had it and took care of it.
It was a long run for Jurickson Profar to get to that ball, and you see Robinson Chirinos and Jeff Bannister, a couple of catchers, talking about this play. It was up there for a while, and you'd always prefer your position players, your infielders, to catch those pop-ups before your catcher. Just easier for them, especially coming in like that. But that was a long way to go, and a good job by Jurickson Profar to keep an eye on where Juan Centeno was, because part of it is if your catcher's camped underneath it, then go ahead and let him catch it. But if you think like he may have a little bit of an issue, then you go ahead and you step in and you take that ball from him. And as far as Profar was concerned, that was close enough. I think Centeno could have made that play, but Profar felt a little bit more comfortable taking over. And it's funny when they catch it.
Yeah.
That's when you laugh. When they don't, it's a meeting.
1 strike pitch. That one right in there to make it 0-2 on Randall Grichuk, who is hitless now in his last 21 at-bats.
That's the first time I think I've seen Juan Centeno do
the splits there.
Yeah,
I agree.
Tony Pena.
This time he wants the ball a little higher, and Jepsen got it up there a little bit on the check swing. No. He appealed it down there to Jim Reynolds, and he waves Grichuk safe. So 1-2 the count. Grichuk suffering through this tough stretch right now. He is 2 for 29 for the season. And he stays alive. One run tonight for the Blue Jays on just 2 hits. Mike Minor was outstanding in his 6 innings of work. Jepsen gets Grichuk swinging, 2 away.
Nice breaking ball, and you wait the way he got there for Kevin Jepsen. Also very impressive. We saw the high fastball. Look at number 3 there in the fox track. You come back with something below the zone. You get an aggressive hitter and a 2-strike count. You take advantage of it, and Kevin Jepsen did exactly that. He's trying to do a Alex Claudio imitation here. 13 pitches through an inning and 2/3. Of course, Alex, we know, has been so efficient, incredibly efficient last year with the Rangers, the best in Major League Baseball among relievers.
Well, he goes right after Devin Travis with strike 1. Travis hitless in 2 tries tonight. And he's in a bit of a scuffle to start 2018. Had been batting at the top of the order, but dropped down to the last spot in this series. Yesterday, Travis did have 2 hits, including a double. But today, a ground out, a fly out, and now down in the count here, 0-2. Pitch on the way. And a bouncer first base. Gallo is there, and the inning is done. Oh, tip of the cap to Kevin Jepsen. A nice 2 scoreless innings for him. 2-1. Hey, coming up this Tuesday, Rangers and Angels, and we're giving away an on-deck Circle coaster set for the first 15,000 fans to the ballpark, all courtesy of Coca-Cola. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or call 972-RANGERS to get yourself all set up for Tuesday night. Oh, one down and
the one on the lap. Oh, there's 2 of them there.
Yeah,
that guy's had it. I mean, I think that for the dogs at this point, probably worn off a little bit, right? Like, I mean, I have a dog that loves dogs, like loves other dogs so much. But I think at some point, all right, let's take it to the house. This was fun. There's a good example of one right there. I think his face tells you everything you need to know.
It's exhausting.
Yeah. But you guys do this like every night? It's still better than the alternative, right? Being home.
Oh, alone?
Alone.
Oh, no. Although it depends. I occasionally leave the pantry door ajar. Sometimes there's a garbage can that is unguarded. So there are occasions where there are things, lots of things to do for the dogs. A little comebacker to Axford. And then he retires Juan Centeno to start the bottom of the 8th inning.
It's a pretty sweet bandana. Still hanging in there. That dog wondering which one of us is driving home.
Where my dog's at.
Yeah. You were talking yesterday about all the extra inning games early on in the season. 2 more tonight. Dodgers and Giants.
Long ones
are in extras. Tied at 4. And of course, you just heard John Radigan talking about the San Diego Padres putting up a fight against the Astros. No score in the bottom of the 10th.
Chopper at third base by Rua. And Solarte throws him out.
Center fielder, Drew Robinson.
Jake Diekman getting ready.
I was wondering a little bit if the temptation that was there for Jeff Bannister. Jepson threw so well after that leadoff walk back in the 7th. He just cruised to double play. Retired 5 straight with a strikeout, and he only threw 17 pitches in 2 innings. You know, probably a lot for a guy like Jepson, former closer. But you look at the pitch count, you think about the temperature and having a guy that's warm and throwing well. I just wonder if he was at all tempted to throw Jepson back out there. I mean, you throw him 3 innings and you've lost him for at least 2 days, though. That's the flip side of it. And maybe a third, and probably asking him to do more than you would have expected even coming into a game like tonight. But I kind of wonder if that crossed their mind at all. Doug Brocail. This 4-color pen. Those were awesome. I used to use those doing this, but then I was told you could hear the clicking over the microphone sometimes. And I was told not to do that anymore.
Really?
Yeah. One of the first jobs I had, one of the sound guys got in my ear. I was doing a college game. He's like, "What is that clicking?" And I'm like going from my red to my green to my blue on that big pen. You know, the 4-color big pen.
Were you just you know, kind of nervous twitch?
Probably. There's a good chance of that.
Yeah.
But then also I'm a multicolor scorecard kind of guy. Strikeouts and walks in red. That kind of stuff.
Oh, I mean, pictures and logos and all sorts of stuff on there.
That's right.
2-1. Robinson fouls out, one away. 2-2 the count. He has been collared tonight in 3 tries. So there's a little 5-game hitting streak on the line in this at bat.
It's felt like, though, it's been Drew Robinson foul ball night as well in the ballpark. He has fouled off, seems like, a lot of balls in the stands.
2-2. And he stays alive. I can't believe you were told to score a different way.
Well, just, you know, the pen was an issue, is what I was told. I was a rookie. I apologized and moved on.
Oh, so that was back in the day when you would take direction.
It's the same as today. What are you talking about? It's before I used to produce the shows that I worked on.
Full count now on Robinson. So the Rangers really worked Marcus Stroman today. 4 2/3 for Stroman. He used 95 pitches. Then Danny Barnes, Tyler Clippard, John Axford. So they worked through some pitching. Count stays full. Another battle here for Robinson.
Somebody was asking Jeff Bannister the other day in the managers meeting about foul balls and whether or not there's somebody that actually tracks those. And he said, what do you think? He's like, you track, I could tell you how many feet Nomar Mazar ran out in the field today between all the balls he had to track down. He's like, I'm sure it's somewhere. I don't know it off the top of my head. And I'm watching Drew Robinson's at bats, and I'm wondering how many foul tips, foul balls he's had tonight.
Oh, he takes called strike 3. So Axford works through a scoreless 8th inning. And now the 9th inning. Last chance for the Blue Jays coming up. Diekman apparently to come on.
At Globe Life Park in Arlington, we welcome you back. John Radigan here with David Merker. We're getting ready for Rangers Live, presented by FiOS by Frontier. The temperature may be cool, but the Rangers have been pretty hot tonight.
And in particular, Mike Minor and the bottom of the lineup.
That's exactly what David Murphy wants to talk about. We'll hear from him. Lots of analysis, post-game reaction to Jeff Bannister and some of the players. It's all right after the game during the fireworks, which will be fun. It's Rangers Live, presented by FiOS by Frontier. Guys, we'll see you then.
All right, thanks, John.
Did you pick up on that? Did you pick up on that a little bit? I mean, so we got 2 play-by-play / host, 2 players, 2 sweaters, 2 non-sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
I think
and 1 really big blanket.
I don't know what you're talking about. Point is, I think it's pretty obvious that the player's a little bit tougher than the host. That's what I was trying to get at.
Well, you've once again impressed me with your ability to get there.
Thank you.
Here is here's Steve Pearce. Start things off, top of the order for Diekman. Off the plate, 1-1.
Well, Jake through the last game in Oakland, 2/3 of an inning, and threw 13 pitches.
1-2.
We saw that strikeout of Drew Robinson to finish off the bottom of the 8th. That was the 3rd strikeout of the game, but all 3 of those looking. This pitch pretty tough. We talked about all those foul balls, and he was fighting off some good pitches, but also Stroman and Axford really spotting him up. Some tough spots with 2 strikes.
We've talked about it a little bit in the past about what a patient hitter he was in the minor leagues coming up, a real disciplined guy. And part of that, I think, you have to accept that occasionally you're just not going to read a close pitch correctly, or you're not going to get it called your way. And that means maybe some strikeouts that are looking. Little tapper off into the bat towards second base, and Odor will retire Steve Pearce.
I want to take you through some defense that the Rangers were flashing in the 7th inning. Jurickson Profar with that great play, the 1.4-second exchange, and a 50-mile-an-hour throw from his knees. Well, Rugen Odor even better on the exchange at 0.63 seconds and throwing that ball nearly 73 miles an hour. It's a big play and a big turn back in the 7th inning for the Rangers. Did an excellent job after the walk for that 5-4-3, and then really right after that, great defensive support that Kevin Jebsen got. He rolled. He retired the next 4 in a row after that one to give himself 2 complete innings with just a 1 walk and 1 strikeout.
Ooh, Josh Donaldson fouls that right back off Centeno's face mask and knocked him backward. Ooh.
Take a look at this pitch from Jake Diekman, and there is that foul tip, and it's caught the 2-piece mask of Juan Centeno. A lot of conversations over the last years as far as which mask is better in these situations. You have the standard kind of old school 2-piece that you see Juan Centeno wearing. Of course, you'll see catchers that wear that hockey mask style as well, and I've heard catchers say some that don't like that mask because they feel like their head rattles around a little bit more on those foul tips. And what you saw on that one was that obviously that mask will give a little bit more. So after the foul tip, a little bit more movement. They feel like the mask will absorb more than your head will on those kind of foul tips. Different preferences for different kinds of guys.
Oh, just missed.
I mean, listen, I don't know. You know, yeah, I guess I can say I'm rooting for Josh Donaldson to strike out a little bit, but I want him to strike out looking, just to see what kind of reaction we're going to get, because he has struck out twice tonight, and both of those were looking, and he had something to say on both of them.
So this one foul for a long strike. 2-2 the count. Hey, in the series coming up against the Angels Monday through Wednesday, great opportunity for you to team up with Dr. Pepper and save some bucks. Bring a Dr. Pepper can to the box office or use the online coupon code Dr. Pepper and you get tickets starting at just $11. Go to TexasRangers.com/specials to get your tickets Monday through Wednesday. Rangers and Angels out here at Globe Life Park. Another foul by Donaldson. Stays 2-2. So here's your chance, CJ.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't want to see it? Jake Diekman wants to see it. I know that. I want to see it.
Might get some early fireworks.
Yeah, why not? Could be the backdoor slider. As far as, you know, getting the called strike with Jake Diekman's repertoire, probably have to be a slider on the outside corner. Could be a fastball, really, in any location. Of course, in his 2-2 count, he could bury a slider as well. Try to get the swing and a miss down and in. Similar to the one that we saw with Russell Martin when he swung over that slider from Mike Minor, back foot slider. But yeah, I want to see it.
Two. Oh, and he got a piece of it. Back to Diekman. And he'll take care of Donaldson easily, and they're 2 away.
First baseman Justin Smoke.
So that will leave it in the hands of Justin Smoke for Toronto. Blue Jays came in 5-3 and sitting right behind Boston in the American League East Division, a game and a half back. Rangers 3-6 coming into play, 3.5 back of the Angels and Astros, who are tied for the best record in the West. Smoke takes one a little bit low for ball 1.
There's the rest of the homestand for Texas Rangers. Finish up with the Blue Jays tomorrow afternoon, and then the show. Shohei Ohtani and the Angels coming into town for 3. We were talking about it, trying to figure out what we may see. Shohei Ohtani is scheduled to pitch tomorrow, which makes me think that he may not be in the lineup on Monday. That's what they did last time. He did not hit the day after he pitched, but we'll see. You never know. With the bat that he has been swinging, they may change that a little bit.
As hot as he is, they might try to get him in as often as they can right now. As Smoke takes a strike 1 and 2 the count, and Diekman is 1 strike away from sealing this, which would be the 4th win of the year. clapping those gloves. Trying to create some noise. A 1-2, and that one skips away from Centeno. Two ground outs so far. Bullpen's been great tonight. Jepson, 2 scoreless innings, 7th and 8th. Now Diekman trying to make it a perfect 9th. All on the back of the outstanding effort of Mike Minor, who allowed just 2 hits in this one tonight. The 2-2. Way up and away. A win here would even this series. The rubber game tomorrow. The 3-2. And shot down the right side up into the seats. Smoke, the former Ranger. 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. And the reigning American League Player of the Week, leading the American League in RBIs with 10 coming into play tonight. Diekman's 3-2 and a swing and a miss. Strike 3. He got him, and this one is over. Handshakes and high fives out on the field as the Rangers pick up their 4th win of the year.
Well, nice job all the way around. You mentioned Mike Minor, the terrific start, his 6 innings of work, 7 strikeouts. The only run came on the solo home run. The bullpen did a tremendous job with Jake Diekman finishing things up right here against Justin Smoke with the big fastball. Then the defense showed up. Jerks and Profar doing a really nice job. At third, we showed that double play, made a nice play on a pop-up at home as well. Ryan Rua made a nice play in the outfield, so a lot of nice defense and just an overall very good night for the Texas Rangers. That 5th inning, so big for them offensively as well. But let's take a look at what Mike Minor did this evening. And we had talked about the use of his slider, how good it was in game 1 for him. Well, tonight, making some big pitches as we see one of the 2 double plays that the Rangers turned this evening when he had to. There's the slider with the strikeout of Russell Martin, the changeup on Smoke, changeup on Martin again, and then Diaz with the changeup. Mike Minor had it working once again now. 2 starts in a row for him where he has looked really sharp, a year in which he is returning to the rotation after being a reliever all of last year.
Great one tonight for the Rangers. 5-1 the final score, and Emily Jones is a post-game guest out on the field.
Thank you very much, Juan Centeno. First of all, you all right after getting taking that ball to the face mask?
Yes, I'm good. I'm good. You know, I've been there a lot of times.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about your work behind the plate. First of all, the starter, Mike Minor, the plan that you guys had and able to execute it.
You know, he did a great job. We working ahead, throwing strikes. That's the key for a big team like that. You know, they got a lot of power. Executing secondary pitches. His fastball, you know, is cold weather, so he got that good command. So for secondary pitches, changeup, curve, cutter, they were good.
I know you have that notebook. You're getting familiar with all these pitchers in spring training, able to carry it over here. How comfortable are you feeling with this staff?
Hey, right now I feel really comfortable. I don't know, like always. Talking to the pitchers, you know, like being there with them in the video room, you know. I just try to be together in the same page, you know. Like I don't want, it's tough when the guy checks a lot, you know. I put the wrong sign down, so I want to be in the same page.
When you talk about your performance at the plate tonight, you guys as an offense as a whole, especially in that inning, were able to keep it going, put up a crooked number, and kind of pull away. How important was that at that point in time?
You know, hey, close game. Those couple of runs, you know, they were good for us and for our pitching, you know, a little relaxing. But we put good at bats together, and we got that cricket number, like you say.
Juan, thanks for the time. We appreciate it. Congratulations on the win. We'll send it back now to you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Emily. And Juan with one of those key hits in that 5th inning. Stay with us. John Radigan and David Murphy will be back here momentarily to break down all the positives from this one tonight. For CJ Nitkowski and Emily Jones, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. Our coverage of Rangers baseball continues right after this.